I can't open it.
Go live. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Happy Tuesday.
We're cozied in here. We're so excited to be here. And Coco is making some tea.
I'm trying to open the packet, but it's not happening.
I have my nice little candle lit for the full moon.
Oh, yes.
I
You look
have
so good, Amanda.
the water. Oh, thank you.
You look so
I got
cute.
this new little ring light. You look wonderful too. I'm
I got
excited to
my
conversation.
Yeah.
So for those of you who are tuning in the replay or live, I am so excited to have my dear friend, my colleague, my client, Coco on this channel. Coco's energy is infectious. So you're probably going to see a different side of me too, because I already feel more relaxed doing this live stream.
Same.
And we're going to have a conversation that centers around manifestation and how manifestation ties in with alignment, with connecting to your essence, and with emitting that essence out into the world. So I really think that there's so much, focus on manifestation, what you want in the world. But I often think that what we manifest comes from conditioning of the mind versus what our soul, what our spirit, what our truth wants. So I start there with my clients. And I think Coco's like such an incredible example of someone who has just really tapped into the heart of who they are. And we're going to dive into that journey and then talk about some magic, some feminine energy, some fun stuff.
All of that. Yes. I'm so excited.
Great. So we love having you all interact. Make sure you hit the like button, give us some support right away. And throughout, you're welcome to leave a chat, ask questions, leave comments. And if you're watching the replay, definitely do the same, hit like, leave a comment. We love that. That supports the work and the energy that we're putting out into the world and lets us know that we're having an impact.
Yes, we appreciate it so much, y'all.
Yes. So I want to start with your name, your stage name, your YouTube channel name, your public name. Unapologetically Coco.
Period.
Can you share a bit about the meaning behind it and what you hope that it will bring to your community and that it brings to your community and your followers?
What a question, Amanda.
Right away.
So Coco is my alter ego. She is my best friend. She is the parts of me that sometimes I feel like I have to shy away from. She is every sexy, sassy, powerful, feminine, bad bitch energy that I have learned to grow with throughout my 20s. One of my friends, we were getting ready and I was just feeling myself, looking really cute, whatever. And she was like, stop that, Coco. And I was like, Coco.
You knew.
And I didn't realize how much it was going to resonate with me. But then as I would go out and I would connect with people, especially like strangers, I was like, oh, hi, my name's Coco. She's very regal, she's very sassy. She's very, opulent. And as I started coming to terms with my gender identity, I realized I was like, oh, she's not even just an alter ego. She's like a part of you. Like she is me. She is what Albert was as a kid, Coco's always been there. I've always bring Coco out in any social situation. And so I think as I started to mature and as I started to really understand the parts of Coco that I identified with, it just kind of just became me. And then I realized, especially now coming out as non-binary, I was like, oh, you're Coco, and that's okay. And that you should embrace it. You should love it. And it just kind of kept growing. I think it's still growing. I still don't even know what that means, what it means to fully introduce myself as Coco and then still having parts of my family, my loved ones, my soul tribe still know me as Albert. It's a transition. And so we're still learning. We're still taking it as it goes,
Evolving. And as your friend, I remember Coco would come out more during your birthday month.
Yep.
You have a birthday month. It's not just a day or
not a week. It's a month. 30 days, honey. 31 days.
And Coco would come out here and there for a special night, for your birthday. And now you're letting this part of you show more and more. And it's become the center point of you in the public eye.
Yeah.
And what do you hope as you step into this essence? And we'll keep talking about this throughout the next hour. But what do you hope for your followers? What do you hope for the people who are engaging with your content? And we'll talk a little bit more about what you do in a moment.
Yeah.
But what do you hope from that?
I honestly, it's so wild to hear you say that, because it started out as like this party persona, or like, but Coco was like my escape. And I think then I just didn't have the vocabulary. I didn't know what was going on. But using like a party, or using me being on stage as a way to like, as an excuse almost, to be like, well, I get to be someone different, because I don't have to really dive deep. And so now I just want people to understand that it's okay to be fully yourself. And that can mean so many things. And I'm realizing Coco is so complex. I'm a very complex human, and I'm embracing all of that. And I think that comes with the territory of being resilient and being strong and being confident and powerful and human, is all of those aspects of you. You know what I mean? And I think I'm learning, I'm hoping that me learning this and people can see me grow into the better version of me, the wholest version of me, that can just by proxy to them. So people can have permission to do that. If that makes sense. Like, I just want to give people the permission to just live fully, because life is too precious, y'all. We don't got time for this. Okay. And so I just want to live fully in this body that I have now, that is able, that is healthy, that is fierce, that is sexy. I'm ready. I am ready. Let me tell you, I am ready. And so, yeah, I just want to give people permission to just be fully them, because we ain't got time. The world's like so chaotic as is. We might as well just enjoy our time here.
I told you all tuning into this that you're going to get a confidence boost. You're going to get a pep talk. You're going to get an electrifying energy, and already delivering.
I'm in flow right now. I think I'm blacking out. I don't even know.
That tea. It's the tea in the full moon.
Getting that honey ginger.
So share a little bit about what you do. You're a multifaceted human being. You're so creative. You have so many talents. How do you share it with the world? What do you do? How do you step into the world as you in the way that most resonates with you?
Oh, wow. Amanda, I forget. You with the questions. Someone asked me that question kind of like that. And I realized, like, obviously, we talk about like the 5 love languages, like words of affirmation, acts of service. Like, my love language is creativity. That is how I share, express myself so fully, so authentically, so, sincerely. It's very like, you want to see a passionate side of me, get me on stage. I get to be whoever, and I get to just express all the things that are just clouding my mind, and I get to tell it through my body or through my voice, and I think that is just the big part of like why I create so much. And when I'm feeling sad, or when I'm feeling joyful, or if I'm feeling powerful, like, I have to create. I have to show it. I have to show it somehow, because like writing back then was not easy for me. Like, I had a hard time journaling. I had a hard time really vocalizing how I felt. So I was able to do that through performing, through community, and I've been so blessed to have like a community of people who understand that, and who allowed space for me to really own my craft, and really allow me to just take my wildest ideas and make it to something so meaningful. And so, yeah, it's being a creative is like my walk of life. That's just something that's always been natural. I've always known since I was a kid. I was like 5 years old. I was like, Mom, I want to be in Barney. Like, I knew something was special about the arts, and like, being creative, and like, I just always have had that knack. And it just kind of evolved as I went to college. So
yeah. So you dance?
I dance. Oh yeah, I didn't even answer.
No, you did. You answered with the essence of it.
Yeah. So I dance. I'm a mover. I started out as theater. Like, I wanted to be an actor. I still do. Like, I love being on stage. One day I will be in Hamilton. We're manifesting that. I'm saying it right now. I will be in Hamilton, Lin Miranda. And I am a writer. I am a spiritualist. I am now a content creator, and that has been it's so hilarious, Amanda. We've been friends for like 13 years, and we're both
Oh,
on YouTube. Like,
I know.
who would have
Who
actually
would have
thought
thought?
that we are on YouTube doing a
I know.
live stream? But the universe works in such beautiful ways, and I mean, I've
Yeah.
always wanted to do YouTube, like since I was seventh grade, eighth grade. So, um, yeah, I'm doing all of these things, and I feel like I'm such a personality. Like I would love to be on reality TV. I would love to have my own talk show one day. Can you imagine? Like I just
It's,
they're just all the things. I'm all the things. Just give it all to me. I'll eat it all up.
it's written.
Literally.
It's already done.
It's
It's
already
already
done.
done.
It's written. We're just bridging the gap now. We're just bridging the
Yep.
gap.
Yeah, it is so funny to think of us on YouTube right now. So for those of you who don't know, Coco and I went to college together and
Many
shared
moons ago.
many moons ago and shared so many beautiful experiences on stage dancing and
Mhm.
creating choreography. And sometimes I look back at photos and I'm like, oh, we were such babies. I mean, it wasn't that long ago, but it was long ago. And it would be funny to fast forward, however many years and see us now having this public
Amanda, we
conversation.
should react to our old dances together
Oh,
one
that's a
day.
good idea.
We should do it. That would be so fun. And we could talk about just kind of our journey and like what
Halo.
Halo.
Our
Halo would be
first,
such a good one. Halo
yeah,
would
our
be
first time partner dancing.
my first time partnering ever.
I love it. It was so good. So I love that you share all this with the world, and it's in your nature. It's so clear to me. It's always been crystal clear. And this stems from the heart of you. So what I'm really curious about, I think a lot of who we are is so clear to us when we're children, like the little us. And then as we get older, we start to become very influenced by our primary caregivers, parents, society's projections of us. And then we lose the essence and we start to wire our brain to be more caught off of conditioning. And then we think we want something, but we don't really. So I'm curious who this little Coco was, like you as a kid, who this essence was. If you kind of paint a picture for us, if you're willing to share.
Yeah, I would love. So my family comes from Sierra Leone, so that's where we originate. I'm the first generation, and it's funny because when I really reflect back and think about little Coco, little Albert, like my mom used to tell me that she's like, I'm so shocked. Like you used to be so shy. She said I didn't know how to dance. Like she said I had two left feet. She's like very shocked when she went to our first performance at St. Thomas. Like she was so confused because she was like, where's this coming from? Like me, like being extroverted and talking to people and introducing myself and being like, I was not that kid. And I think that was Albert. I think that was little Albert. And then I think Coco literally just kind of just started creeping in. When I saw my older sister perform at the U, the visceral feeling I had, Amanda, like I was so in awe of these girls. So she like had this girl group. They were giving pop stars. They're giving Destiny's Child. And I was like, oh my God, I want to do this. Like, I really want to do this. And then my mom put me in soccer, but you can watch a video about that. That made me so upset. And I feel little Coco was so full of life. I feel I'm still that person. Like I'm that loud, rambunctious, have a lot of friends, love meeting new people. Love to dress in the highest fashions. Like that's always been there. I just feel like I wasn't allowed the space to really explore a lot of those feelings that I had. And then it wasn't until seventh grade when I did my first musical where it was like I started finding it for myself. And luckily enough, I went to a lot of art focused schools. So like I was able to explore a lot of those different avenues, like whether that was being in band or choir, or then doing musicals or joining the step. I would find my way. I was like, oh, we don't have a step team here. I'm going to bring a step team to my school so I can do something, that I enjoy, that I love, so people can actually see me for me. And so, yeah, I feel like I just kind of always knew. I've always known that I had to be in the arts somehow, but I just wasn't given, like at the end of the day, like my family was like either going to be a doctor, a lawyer, get your PhD, you're going to play sports and all those things. And that wasn't for me. That wasn't my story. And so I just kind of had to fish it out and figure it out for myself. And I'm glad that I did, because I didn't dance until I was 18. I didn't dance until like legitimately dance until I went to college. Like, yeah, I did step team in high school, so like 17. But then really when I started learning choreography and really, putting myself out there, that wasn't until college and like meeting all of you where I started to really figure out this is what I was brought into this body to do. So
this is what I was brought into this body to do.
Mhm.
That is such a powerful statement and a powerful thing to realize. And I think so many humans out there don't know what that is yet.
Mm.
And just to even know it is a really powerful focus. It's a really powerful act to know in your heart, this is what I'm here for. And it's beautiful that you were able to discover that. And I hope that for everybody tuning into this, that
and you'll know. You will know.
You
will know.
What does it feel like?
Oh my God. It's like this out of body experience. Like the pure adrenaline, the euphoria, like I just feel so like on top of the world. I feel joy, I feel passion, I feel seen, I feel everything. I'm able to heal. Like I've been able to tap into emotions, Amanda, through the arts that I would have never done on my own accord. You know what I'm saying? And so I know for a fact that is what I'm meant to do. And the fact that I have given people access to also feel those emotions through whatever movement we're doing or whatever show I'm in, whatever acting, whatever it can be. Like the fact that I'm able to allow people to also have access to that and to actually tap into things, that is what I'm meant to do. I'm meant to touch people through my movement, through my presence, through my words, through, like my story. Like I'm here. That's what I'm here. And I need to allow that. I need to give more of that. And I think that's kind of when we talk about being apologetically ourselves, is litigating of our own way and doing what we're meant to do. This sounds so preachy. I'm so sorry, but that's just how I feel.
We're going to talk about that because it's a process too to get out of your own way. It's a whole thing.
God. Yes, it's still a process.
But I do want to just touch on one other thing. What does it feel like to not be in this space? So when you're not in alignment with your energy, with creating, now that you know what your soul is here to do in this body, what does it feel like when your energy is diverted?
Yucky.
Yeah.
It's such a gross feeling. It's all of that like insecure, very dark. I think of like the shadow. Just like think of just the darkest parts of you that you just are like, what is happening? And it is not a great feeling. And you like, and the fact is, like, in the back of your head, like this is not what's meant for you, but for whatever reason, that other voice is so deafening that you're just unable to, get back, and I think especially after the pandemic, like it took away all of that for me. And so I just really had to rely on different ways of, dealing with my emotions. Because I would usually just dance it, or I would, find some type of art medium to do it. And so it's not, this past year has been the most identity shift.
We're going to talk about it. It's been intense.
It's been so intense for no reason. I hate it.
It's so intense. Hi, everyone. If you're tuning in, definitely say hi in the chat. We love hearing from you.
Oh my God. Hi, friends. What's up? What's the 411?
We love to feel your energy here. Even if you don't say anything in the chat, we can still feel you. So thank you for being here. So yeah, let's talk about this past year. So one thing that I love about our friendship and our connection is that we've always seen each other and believed in each other. Like I feel like I have seen your talent, your spirit since I met you, since I started dancing with you. And likewise, you give me so many words of encouragement and see me and remind me. And our love language is both words of affirmation. So that helps.
Facts.
And you saw my skill set as a coach and decided to hire me as a coach to kind of help you bring your vision, what you saw, your Pisces self would keep things in the vision world and bring it into reality. Yeah. And so that started about a year ago. Oh, Russell's here. Hi, Russell.
Hi, Rue.
And bring it into reality. where were you at around this time of year? Like paint a picture of your energy
All
when you
right.
started this program, this year-long program with me.
All right, friends, picture it. It is 2002, Los Angeles, and I am on the floor, on my kitchen floor, and I am sobbing. Not even just a little cry. Like I am weeping. I'm yelling. I was so nervous that my neighbors could hear me, but I was so unconsolable. Like I was so distraught. And that's like the picture I think of when I was literally at my wit's end. I was the epitome of rock bottom. And I remember a voice in my head through all the tears, through all the wailing. It was like, contact Amanda. I didn't know what I didn't know. It just said contact Amanda. Do you remember me sending you like a voice memo? And I was
I
like,
do.
I don't know what's going on, but I need
Yeah.
something. And then I was so, I call it an identity shatter. Like everything that I was planning, everything that I thought I knew was taken away from me in a second. And all of these insecurities started popping up that I thought I healed from. But it was like, oh, was I masking this entire time? Like all these things just came up and it was so overwhelming, Amanda. Like it was too much for my body. Because I'm not a sad person. I don't like being sad, y'all. And it was so overwhelming because I could not regulate myself. And I was questioning my talent. I was questioning my purpose. I didn't know what my purpose was. I didn't know who I was anymore. I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing? You know?
Mhm.
And then you came along and it was full alignment. That was like the universe coming because I was like, I wanted to make a YouTube channel that entire time when I moved to LA, but I just didn't have the drive.
Mhm.
And then when you came in and you're like, I want to do this for you. I want to bring a group together that with a bunch of artists who have all these ideas, but for some whatever reason are unable to bring it into the world now. And I was like, I didn't even hesitate. I was like, yeah, that's exactly what I need right now. I just need community. Regardless if anything doesn't
Wow.
come of it, I just need community because I was so unsure. And I've never been a type of person who's unsure of themselves. I've always thought I knew myself. And this was the first time in my life that I didn't know a damn thing.
Yeah.
And it was
Wow.
scary and it was uncomfortable and it was messy. And I was so depressed. I was so anxious. And this came to my life to really take me out of like my Piscean dreamy state, like we talked about, and
Yeah.
put it out and like be actually be vulnerable. Like now's your time to be vulnerable, Coco. Now's your time to really put yourself out there. And that's what you and that our group has done for me is really just bring back that community and bring back all of the things that I needed to do and ground myself so I could start thinking about those questions of who am I now? What am
Yeah.
I going to do now? What's next? Because I didn't know. So that's
And
kind of,
I mean, I have that similar story of like my whole life kind of fell apart at the end of last year.
weeks
And so
later.
many, we don't need to get into it, but like both Coco's and mine's life just kind of shattered. And from what I know about manifestation and the quantum field, a lot of the power lies in your identity being shattered.
Yeah.
Like losing track of who you think you are completely, losing track of your external environment. And then from that place where everything's burned down, like the wildfire, burning a forest down,
Literally.
life can grow.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't always have to be that dramatic. But that's a part of this of like, how can we let go of everything that we thought that we were, our conditioned identity, our conditioned stories, tap into soul essence and let that start to blossom new flowers, new life. And that's what happened for you over the past year and me in a lot of ways. There's that line, that song that we love, Charlotte Cardin. Is that how you say her last name?
Yeah.
I had to burn everything down that I thought I wanted just to rise up like a phoenix.
Come on now. We're on our Phoenix era. We are in our Phoenix era. We definitely did though. I didn't have room for where I'm headed to now. I didn't have room for it then. So it had to all be cleared. And I'm so grateful for you because like I was able to really tap into what I needed and
Yeah.
what I wanted. Like, what do you want? Like, that's a very scary question to ask yourself. Like, what do you actually
What
want?
do you want? I know a lot of
Am I
people don't know.
deserving that? And that's like the limited belief. Like, I came into that whole meeting with so many limiting beliefs, and I was like, oh my God, there's the situation that happened to me. That's not what's holding me back. I'm the reason that
Wow.
nothing's progressing. I'm the reason. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? And
Yeah,
it's
I do know.
and I really had to go internal and really just, I thought like falling in love or, putting yourself out there in dance studios was going to be like the hardest thing I'll ever do. And I was like, no, learning how to love yourself is
Mm,
literally the hardest thing I have ever had to do. And not even just like, the good, positive, because I feel we're all ready to celebrate our wins. And, I
yeah.
did this amazing thing, but like that, the one, that side where you're literally unable to get out of bed, when you are literally so sad and so dark and so negative, I love that person. I'm learning how to love
Oh,
that person and like
yes.
be there for that person as much as possible
That's
because
it.
I'm forever changed. I know that. And so in order for me to just literally be myself, I have to learn how to love my darker sides. And
Yes.
so, yeah,
Oh, that's a medicine right there.
that's,
Anyone listening to this at any point in your life, if you find yourself at a rock bottom, and this is an inevitable, I think,
I
part of
agree.
the human experience, is that you will find yourself in lows. And
Yeah.
those lows aren't bad. Nothing's wrong. In fact, if you could see it as a fertile time of growth, an
Mm-hmm.
opportunity for new things to come through and love yourself in that moment.
Mm-hmm. I know that's
Hold
right.
yourself,
Mm-hmm.
rock yourself, surround yourself by community.
Mm-hmm.
So much goodness can come from it. Because so
Mm-hmm.
often, I mean, rightfully so, we're like, oh, I need to change. I need to get out of this. I
That's
get
that's
that.
that's usually how I was all the time, for sure.
Yeah. And
I
now
need to
it's
get out.
like, I mean, I feel like if I got through that, I'm like, okay, the things aren't so
Bring it
bad.
on. What's good? Bring it on. Literally. What else can you do to me? You really can't do much. So let's go.
Oh, am I getting blurry? I'm
Just a
getting
little.
blurry. Okay, I'm turning my video off for 1 second, turning it back on. Hopefully, yeah, that'll refresh. So we spent some time crafting what you want. And that took several weeks of like what your personal purpose statement is. And we did this in context of a group. So there was a group cohort that I took through this whole experience.
Yeah.
And then
Mm-hmm.
we created a sacred vision script of like, if you could just craft the life you wanted, what would it look like? And it surprisingly takes time to think about that. Like, how do you want your days? What do you want your days to look like? Who do you want around your life? How do you want to
Yeah.
feel? Like, it takes time. And then we spent time just repeating that, listening to the sacred vision scripts, but blocks would start to come.
Yeah.
That's inevitable.
Yeah.
Self-sabotaging talk.
Yeah.
What are some mental blocks that came up for you during this process? And how were you able to move through them? If you can remember any limiting beliefs that you had to shatter, any big ones?
Yeah. I feel like I had one where it's like, I'm not worthy of this, something very ridiculous like that. Or like, yeah, I'm not deserving. I am not as talented as I thought. I've had this feeling that like if I did receive this, I was gonna lose it immediately. And when we talk about the sacred vision, like that was hard because I think it's all ego based because it's like we can't allow ourselves like, oh, how can I actually achieve everything that I want? Like, how is that even possible? And
Yeah,
when I wrote mine, I was in complete flow. Like
you were.
that just came out. That was not me. That was something
That was your soul.
because I stepped out of the way. I remember I meditated. I was at my friend's house. I got some incense, and I just went to town. And I didn't even know what I wrote. I don't know. It just came out of me, and it was so beyond me. But yeah, I think it is so scary to see what you want your life to be, what it's going to be, what it could be, all those things, and you start, telling yourself all of these lies. They're not fact. They're just lies. Like, why can't I have that? Why don't I deserve that? Like, why it's mine. That's mine. It came through me. That is all
Yes.
me. And it took a long time for me to learn that because when you tap into something so deep like that, and then you have to still coexist with the world and like the physical's not matching what you know your life is supposed to be, it's so hard to like bring those together sometimes.
Yeah. I'm curious if anyone's tuning into this, if they have kind of beliefs that pop up when you think that, when you can envision something that you think you want, and then you're like, it's not possible, or I'm not worthy of this, or I'm not good enough for this. If you want to share either in the chat or the comments of like limiting beliefs that you've had to face, I think that would be a really interesting thing to just talk about, because if you only focus on, okay, I want this, I want this, I want this, and those limiting beliefs are always in the backdrop, but you don't deserve it, but you don't deserve it, but you don't deserve it, or you can't do it, then, and you don't address those.
Yeah.
They're gonna be fighting each other.
Yeah. And I think that's what was so amazing about what we did, because you really like pushed us to really peel these layers. Like, where is this coming from? What is it actually true? What could
is
be
it actually true?
And we just had to really rework it. And then I love that we came up with antidotes, like to figure out, how do we get this away? Like, how do we clear that up when it shows up? And I think that everyone needs to try that. Everyone needs to do that, because what's going on in your head is not real. It's not fact. And like, when you're able to really like write it down and kind of see it, and especially when you read it out loud to other people who see you, then you realize how ridiculous your brain is treating you. And then you can just keep moving forward, for sure.
Yes. Yeah. And we did it in the context of a group setting too, which was really nice. Like, I do that with one-on-one clients for sure, but it was really nice, like as a group, to brainstorm why it's not true and what else could be true. And then I think not you two, but like a few of you would like meet outside of the sessions and like, okay, let's walk through this, this process and come up with an antidote for this belief. And you will forever have that skill set and that tool to say, oh, I'm seeing this limiting belief come up. How can I work with it and not stop ignoring it and pretend it's not there?
Exactly. And it's a practice, you have to practice it. It's a skill that you will continuously get better the more you do it. Because I'm not perfect at it. Like, there's some limiting beliefs that are so loud. But I feel also like having that community that can also, zoom out and remind me of what is the truth, and then coming up with an antidote to like, clear it from my mind when it does show up. It's so helpful. It just clears it so you can just get out of your own way.
Yes. We had someone say, I struggle with procrastination. You want to speak to that, Coco? As far as your YouTube channel, how you were able, you did procrastinate for a bit, and I did too when I launched my YouTube channel. So do you want to speak to that first about how you got through that?
I'm like the queen of procrastination. Procrastination is so hard, because I think for me with my YouTube channel specifically, I would just find an excuse. I'm really fluent at finding an excuse to anything and everything. I would find every reason not to do it. And I think that's the beauty of having people to hold you accountable too, because I told y'all I'm going to do it, so I have to do it, because I'm going to look real crazy if I don't. Procrastination is so hard, because like I for so long would just kind of just like push it aside, and then the task became too much for me, and I kept letting it pile up. And I think that's where it comes in with those whole like, I think it all stems from like a limiting belief. It comes from whatever. There's a reason why you're refusing not to do something. At least for me, I'm speaking on my behalf. Like I was purposely finding reasons not to do something. Because there's like a bigger picture, like, oh, like if I push this back, that doesn't mean I have to do this live stream where I'm gonna like put myself out there and be super vulnerable and have people judge me, and then having all of this procrastination is just like the word, but the whole what is causing you to not to do it is causing it, and you have to like be very transparent with yourself. And I was so scared because YouTube was like a big dream of mine, and then I'm just gonna present it to y'all, and then it's just yours, and like, I don't know, it was so scary. So I would just push it back because I was so fearful and so avoidant. And I didn't want, to put myself out there. And so it did take a lot of like checking in, and really once I knew that like, okay, like it's me and I'm just avoiding to do it. I think I'm getting better at not procrastinating, hopefully. Well, even and also trying to do like now when I feel like doing something, like, oh, if I want to record a video, I just do it. Like I just kind of like if I have like that little inkling, I have to just do it right away rather than
Yes. And then
sit with it.
procrastinate.
Yep.
I know for me, I launched my YouTube channel a year and a half ago. And I was working with a coach at that time, Mina Irfan, the universe guru. A lot of you follow my channel, follow her as well. So shout out to Mina. But I
Yeah.
just remember, and any of you who are in the CEO Boss Queen program, there's a recording of this session. But every week, she basically told me you have to get 10 videos up and then you launch. And then people can kind of really sift through your content and listen and get to know you. And I had all these ideas, but I couldn't sit down and press record. Yeah. And then I developed neck pain. So my body was like, okay, now you can't, like, I was just anything and everything. I was like, I'm not doing this. And we talk about like, oh, flow, feel good, let yourself. She looked at me and she's like, Amanda, you just have to do it. She just was so straight with me. And then she said, think of it like, when you want to go out to a party, but you're cozied in and the party's going to be really fun. But you can't get yourself out of bed to go to the party. You have to get yourself out of the bed, put your makeup on, do your hair, put the music on, pour yourself a nice drink, and then get amped up and go to the party and you'll have an amazing night. But getting out of bed to do the thing can be so hard for so many reasons. So hard. But I think that's what I would offer to procrastination is just, you almost have to just shut a part of you, like black out and just do it. You just have to like, I'm just going to press record. I'm just going to XYZ. I'm
going to go to the gym. I'm going to make that phone call. I'm going to update my resume. You just have to like black out. Like that's you literally just have to black out. Cliff
jumping. Like I get but you just have to be like, okay, shutting a part of my brain off, jumping,
Yeah, for sure.
And then we have someone else who said imposter syndrome moment. I'll never be more than the perception others have of me. Talk about imposter syndrome for you. I know you mentioned I'm not good enough for this. And I know this would come up for you on occasion. You'd have weeks where you were like, yes, I'm supposed to be doing this. You'd have weeks where like, I'm not good enough for this. Everyone's ahead of me.
Yeah.
How have you worked with that?
I literally call it like when I'm that person where I just am in touch with my frame. That's my Julie Andrews from The Sound of Music, where I'm just singing on top of the mountains and I'm just living my life, living my truth. That person gets it. But whenever, I think the biggest part of my imposter syndrome stems from social media. I feel like that's a lot of people's devil sometimes. And I have like this comparative mindset and I'm comparing my journey with someone else's. And then that automatically assumes that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not where I'm supposed to be. I think it's so relatable. You know what I mean? I think that's where a lot of my imposter syndrome, because it's so important to me and I want it so badly. I want it so badly. I want it so badly. And I think when you see people kind of already living your dream in some level, some shape, some form, then it kind of gets in your brain like, well, I'm not worthy of this. Like I'm not. Who am I? Who am I? Like I'm not that great. Yeah. Like this is all. This is all just some big game. Like this is all a setup. And yeah, I really struggled. I think that was like a big part of when we started everything. Like my imposter syndrome was kicking in and like going through a breakup where I've literally was like, oh, everything's a lie. Like I'm not that great. I'm not that bad bitch that I thought I was. I'm not as sexy as I thought I was. I'm not as confident. And those things like started coming up. They're not true, obviously, but but I started like questioning all those things and it just like kind of flared up. And then it wasn't until we held each other accountable and I went to Millennium, which was a huge block for me. It's a huge dance studio in LA and I wanted to go so badly, but was so scared. And I went by myself. I didn't ask my cousin to go with me and I danced for me. And I had an imposter syndrome the entire time walking into it. But then once I was able to actually we talk about blackout jumping up and just doing it was like right. It's like I never left, it was like I was doing it my entire time, and so I working through imposter syndrome is so hard. I'm still like have moments where like I can be very down on myself, but then that's when I rely a lot heavily on my community. Please have people that you trust on your side who know you more than you know yourself sometimes, so they can bring you back to planet Earth, because once you go into those places, it's hard to get out. So I will always text my friends. I'll always text you like, hey, I'm having a really bad mental health day. I'm not really believing myself.
Yeah.
And you'll send a voice memo right away, and they'll hold you up and it'll bring you back right away, usually. So
Yeah.
how would you answer that?
Well, it was just interesting. I want to point out the things that you were saying to yourself. Can you imagine if I said those things to you?
No, I would be like, you're dumb.
Like how we talk to ourselves is so interesting. Like
we're so mean to ourselves.
I know, like, oh, you're not sexy. Who do you think you are by doing this? You're not beautiful. Like, can you imagine me? Are you saying that to me?
No.
And yet we say these things to ourselves. Like, you're not worthy of doing this. What is that voice? I mean, I think we should all just sit for a second.
Who are they? We don't know them.
Oh, yeah.
It's so mean. It's so hurtful.
Yes.
For no reason.
Yes. Yeah. Imposter syndrome is a really, really interesting one. I have that sometimes when I get too much in my mind, in my brain. Mm-hmm. If I can sink into my heart and my body and exist from that place. And I'm pretty spiritual too. So in like the spirit realm of like, okay, I'm sourcing energy through me. But if it's my mind, it starts to be like, how many facts, especially, having a science background, it can be like, oh, do I know the right facts? Am I saying the right things anatomically? Am I citing the right sources? And I start to get imposter syndrome in this way, especially, several of my clients are scientists and they probably know science better than me in some ways. See, that's imposter syndrome, but I know how to live the science, how to apply it to life, how to
come on, antidote.
So it's like your unique essence.
Yeah.
And if I tap into that essence of me, I have confidence. I'm not trying to like be up in the head. Someone said, I have someone taking it upon herself to mentor me. I'm so independent. So I'm glad she's reaching out, because I'll let myself fall apart with imposter syndrome. Yes, mentorship, community, friends, relying on people outside of you is so important, who see you. Who really see you.
Don't talk to like some random Joe Schmo. Like really go to those people that you really trust, that know you, that care about you, who keeps it 100 with you. And I swear it helps. It helps so much with the imposter syndrome, because I have it so often. And the minute I talk to my people, it just changes. And mentorship too, like that is, talk about holding someone accountable.
Yes.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing for sure.
Yeah, I love that. One last block I just want to briefly touch on that I think is so relevant when it comes to putting yourself out there. So if there's anyone who's on stages of any kind, I mean, sharing content on social media or public speaking, the fear of judgment. It came up so much in our group.
So often.
Putting ourselves out there can be super triggering to the nervous system, because it hits on this core feeling of like, am I accepted by my community? And I think never in human history that we're aware of have we been exposed to so many people at the same time. And so there was a lot of fear, because everyone in the group was interested in like, working on a TikTok channel or a YouTube channel. What happens when you get the negative comment or the thumbs down, or there was a fear. I'm not going to do this because I'm scared that one or two people might judge me. And I'm curious how you work with judgment.
Yeah. I mean, even coming to this live stream, I got a little nervy. I was like, one of my besties was like, oh, are you excited? I was like, yeah, I'm kind of nervous, but I had to keep telling myself, I'm excited. And I think the nerves is because like putting yourself out there, like you are fearful of like kind of how you're being perceived. But I feel like we've also worked with it so much where like one of my last videos, I had my first troll, y'all. And I was so pleased. I was like, yes, we are going up in these streets. I was so ecstatic.
Oh, I love that.
And I think that's because I feel like I've already worked with the idea. And people are going to judge regardless. People judge when we're walking down the street. So it's like, I might as well be judged doing what I love, but I know that there's going to be hundreds of others who are actually going to
That's right.
resonate and love. My soul aligned people are going to find me. And so if you're judging me, you're not supposed to be in this journey with me. Keep it moving. Literally. And it's
I
like,
love
and
that.
granted, that this took a year for me to get to a point where, like, you know, I'm allowing myself to, again, not care what people think, which has been wild. But I'm at a point where I'm like, there's no reason. Why do I care? Why?
Yeah. That's that fierce alignment. That's the title of this video.
Yeah,
Fierce
no,
alignment.
I'm in such an alignment right now. It's so wild. It feels so good. It feels so good.
Yeah, a way that I approach judgment is I'm kind of like, let them.
You've always been kind of like that.
I mean, I'm sensitive, so sometimes I can get a little like defensive, but it's kind of like, it wouldn't make sense if everyone in the world liked me or resonated with me.
Yeah.
Like our brains are all wired in trillions of different connections. I'm going to trigger some memory of someone that something happened. You know what I mean? It's just the way it is. So, and I focus on the fact that I want people to have the freedom to think however they want to think.
I know
so if they don't like me, that's okay. I wouldn't want to try to control them into resonating with my energy, my content, things like that. So it's kind of like, okay, you know, and then there's, of course, like boundaries, setting boundaries from the judgments, but judge me. And then typically the people who judge depart and then we're fine because the soul aligned people who are resonating stay. And it's a beautiful process.
Yeah. And that's literally all it is. You know, I got time. We don't have time to be wasting with people who don't care for our message. Like, fine, like that's fine. And like, it's all ego based. Like, who am I to feel like I need to be loved by all people who enter my orbit? Like, that's just not real. That's not real at all. Who am I?
Yeah, like, to feel like I should.
It's okay. I'm not your cup of tea. That's fine. I'm somebody else's cup of tea with honey, baby. Like keep it moving.
I love that. That's so good. Hopefully that's helpful to someone who's tuning in and deals with that fear. I know it's pretty common, especially with the rise of social media. Even if you aren't a content creator per se, you're still putting yourself out there with photos, videos, and words, and it can be unnerving. I want to flip gears here and talk a little bit about magic. So a little fun stuff.
I love magic.
For those of you tuning in, I'm curious how you view magic. The way that I see it, you know, this is a science and magic channel, so I very much like to talk about the nervous system and things that we know. I view magic as the things that we don't logically know. We can't really wrap our minds around it, but our hearts know, our bodies know. It's the unseen, it's spirit, it's earth-centered magic, it's astrology, it's play, it's awe. So how we did talk over the past year about magic. We let that be a part of the process together, in addition to nervous system care. What's your relationship to magic? How is it evolving? What does it look like? What are some practices that you're into? And same with those tuning in, if you want to share how you see magic, if you like to interact with it, what you like to do, we'd love to hear it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, magic has been so huge in my growth. It's interesting. I feel like when we talk about like identity shatter, like I really had to like figure out what, like we said, like I wanted, and I really tapped into my spiritual side. Like the way that I was able to connect to whatever is happening in the cosmos, it really helped shift my life in the most beautiful ways. I think that journaling has been super helpful with my magic. I've been really into oracle cards.
Yes.
And using my intuition a lot, my intuitive skills. And so that has been super powerful. And my cards are very honest like me, so they keep it 100. So yeah, I've been like doing a lot of things. I work with crystals. Meditation is my best friend. I do it every morning.
Yes.
I'm trying to get better at yoga, just like being in my body. And I'm working on our thoughts become things. I think that is the key to magic a lot, is like what's happening here is gonna like come out in your physical world. So I'm really trying to just own what I say and mean what I say and do what I say, because I just feel I've seen the magic that's happened. Like I've seen so many people in our group black out and like they're not speaking. Whoever is in the cosmos are
Yeah.
the ones who are speaking.
Channeling.
And then like they're channeling all of these
Yeah.
amazing and powerful energies. And yeah, it's like the most powerful I've ever felt. Like I just know, especially I won't say my sacred vision, right? But like I know like that's happening. Like I know it's coming to fruition. And that's because like I'm tapping into something that's beyond me. Like I'm stepping away and allowing and surrendering to whatever the universe has in store for me. And I think that's the beauty about magic.
Yeah. I
Mm-hmm.
love that.
Mm-hmm.
Did someone say, I do it all? I love magic.
Right.
Well, not all. LOL, no sacrifices.
Could you imagine? Blood sacrifice.
No. Yeah, magic is just a fun way to tap into a different brainwave state that's lower in frequency. It's less about survival. It's more about consciously creating the world around you. And for those, I know there's a lot of human design lovers who follow my channel and follow me because I'm a projector. Coco is a human design manifester. So when they say that they can speak their reality into existence,
it's already done.
It's already done.
It's already
they
done.
have spoken my reality into existence a couple of different times, which shall not be named.
Right.
But very powerful. So stepping into that power using that throat chakra, which is funny, it's the full moon in Taurus. So it's all about expression.
Yeah.
About throat. And it's so interesting that we're sharing this dialogue tonight too about self-expression. Side note, that's really interesting.
Of course we would.
I also have a lot of followers on this channel who really love to talk about feminine energy. And I know you mentioned Coco's this regal queen feminine energy. Mm-hmm. How do you experience feminine energy in your body, in your life? I know you're really into fashion. What are some things that elevate that energy in your body, that goddess queen regal energy?
Yeah. Oh, wow. What a question. I've always just gravitated towards feminine energy since I was a kid. Like I was the child that would, if I was playing video games with my cousins, I would pick the female characters. Like I always just, with the heroines of any movies, I always identify with them. And what like I connect with is just like how bright and like I just feel feminine energy just allowed to feel free and allowed to feel sexy. That's literally what, like when I wear heels, I feel so powerful. When I get my nails done, I feel so powerful. When I'm on stage, I'm so sassy. If I'm wearing like lace, if I'm wearing a crop top, like if I'm just wearing these form-fitting clothes, like that's where I feel like I'm stepping into like my power. Like I just like the flirtiness of feminine energy is all me. Like I've always done that in college. And so it's like, I don't know. I feel when I tap into my feminine energy, my feminine power, that's when I'm most confident is when I, you know what I'm saying? When I'm strutting down those streets, like that's feminine energy, honey. That is you.
Yes, it is. Those legs.
Those legs. Come on. Come on. Like I feel so powerful. I feel so powerful. And that's why, the patriarchy is so scared because feminine energy, we are.
It's really powerful.
It's so powerful.
And feminine energy is magnetic.
Mm-hmm.
Like feminine energy doesn't go out and get things. And when we talk about energy, I say this in all my videos when I talk about feminine, masculine energy, we all have different bits of both in our bodies and can express them at different times. And some of us have more of a feminine energy essence, some more masculine, some more equal. But feminine energy is this energy of magnetism. It is expression. It is things coming towards because you're so bright, so beautiful.
That's so yummy.
So refreshing. Masculine energy goes out and gets.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah.
It directs. And we need both in our bodies to be to engage with the world. They're both the sacred energy form. But when you say that, it's powerful. Like you in those heels walking down the street, like with those long legs, like that's magnetic. Energy's coming to you. And it's powerful because it's entrancing. It's like it captures attention. That is feminine energy. It takes your breath away.
You better.
So beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
So if there's anyone listening to this conversation who has a vision for their life and they want to bring it to reality, but they're stuck, they have a vision for themselves, even not even, maybe it's not like a vocation. Maybe it's like they want to be a certain way in the world, but they're struggling with doing it. They feel blocked. They have this stuff coming up. What advice would you give them?
Oh my gosh. Well, first off, I believe in you. You can do this. Honestly, like you have to sit with your emotions. I'm realizing that become friends with all sides of you. Like what is coming up? Why are you hiding away from this person that you see? If you see it, that's because it's real. That's because you are capable of being that person, whatever you're trying to do. But you have to sit with your emotions and sit and be so authentic and be so real and honest and raw and be like, it's gonna be uncomfortable. And then I think writing it down what exactly it is that you're trying to do, and like what does that day look like for you? If you had everything that you wanted, like what does that day look like? How are you living day to day as that person now? And honestly, you just have to do it. Like you just have to do it. Like don't listen to that brain, don't listen to those limiting beliefs, and do it. And I'm learning each day, but it's getting better and better. The more I learn, the more I practice it, the more I just shoot out of bed and just hit play. Like I don't even know I don't have anything planned, because if I sit here and plan, I'm going to find another reason not to do it. So, you just have to like really be honest with your emotions, be honest with your feelings, be aware of what's holding you back, get your community involved, tell your friends like, hey, like I'm thinking I want to do this, have them hold you accountable. I know I do that all the time. And and don't hold yourself back anymore. I think you just have to decide. Once you decide, then you can't hold yourself back anymore.
Decide.
You have to decide. You have to make.
I always say what if you don't? Like what, you're just gonna look back and be like,
what's the worst that can happen?
Oops.
What's the worst that can happen?
You might as well try. You might as well start. Just do something.
You might as well. I don't care if I have 2 views on my YouTube channel. At least I did it. At least I tried. I got a cute banner out of it. Like, at least I did it.
Yeah. I did it. I can't tell you how many things that I've tried that have, quote unquote, you could say in linear terms, have failed. AKA, but my path hasn't been linear.
Yeah.
Led me exactly where I need to go because I keep following those little breadcrumbs. Like you said, call Amanda or YouTube, or, okay, let me try this. And sometimes it leads you somewhere where it's not it seems like a dead end, but then you met someone that led you to this thing. So follow those little breadcrumbs and just do something towards it.
Just try.
And love yourself too.
I think that's key. I think that's the first part is really learn how to love yourself. Yeah. And then you'll recognize that you doing a little action towards it is a form of love to you. And so really learn how to love yourself and love all parts of you, the good and the bad and the ugly. So
I have a self-love podcast. I'll link it. I'm going to link it below.
Oh, for sure. Oh my God.
That'll be a good one. So loving your shadows. There's some beautiful
100%.
self-love letters at the end by my clients. Oh, it's a tearjerker.
Yeah, you really should do that.
Last question. What is one thing that you've learned this past year that you will never forget?
That I am resilient AF.
Yeah, you are. Yes. I love that so much.
I actually might get emotional.
Oh, you are. I watched you. Yes. Oh, that's so beautiful, Coco. You are so resilient, and you're here and you made it. And there's this wealth of resource in you, and we're all so lucky to have you sharing your voice with us. Thank you. So much.
Thank you.
I love your tears.
It's my water sign.
It's your water sign. I feel it. We cry a lot together. Oh, Erica's here.
Oh, my Erica. I love you, Erica.
Oof, needed to hear that. Just try. At least you did it.
At least you did it.
Yeah.
We're doing it, Amanda.
I hope that anyone listening has gotten something out of this. If you did, please share it with us in the chat, in the comments. Again, give the video a like.
Please. Amanda's so deserving.
We love you, Coco. Someone said, okay, tell us about your YouTube channel.
Okay.
Okay. So all of you should go follow Coco's YouTube channel. I've linked it in the description. Go right now. There's so much good content.
I just posted a video just an hour ago. So please go check it out. It's all about Selena Gomez's new documentary, which everyone should watch. But yeah, no, I mean, my channel is everything that is me. It's all facets of me. I'm talking about my heartbreak. I'm talking about my healing journey. I'm talking about my identity journey. I'm talking about all things pop culture, all the things that I love that I would normally just talk to about by myself, but I'm going to do it with everyone who is willing and wanting to watch it with me. And yeah, I'm so excited. I've just been in such a flow with it, and I love being able to share parts of me to whoever is aligned with it and whoever resonates. And it's just been so healing for me, and I hope that is healing for whoever gets the opportunity to check out my videos. So it's a plethora of things. I don't know what's gonna stick, but we're just going with it.
It's like your diary, kind of, in a way.
It is my diary for sure. It is. You are getting a full picture of who I am as a person.
Yeah.
Which is why
you're getting so much love.
Oh, thank
you. As you should. I also want everyone watching this to know, like, the vulnerability. Notice what that felt like to witness that in Coco. That, like, when we're just us, when we're just who we are, and we have the courage to do that and to be seen, that it moves others. And that's a takeaway of this too, of like, can you be you? Can you be vulnerable? As safe as you can feel in being vulnerable, but just notice how that helped you feel connected. It might have stirred something up in you. It's powerful. And the world wants your voice too. And you have people around you that want to hear you and to feel you. So that was a beautiful example of that. I would say, if anyone listening to this too, if you're interested in kind of joining something that Coco went through with, like a group cohort throughout the next year.
You should do it. Please do it. Please do it.
I don't have anything planned right now, but I kind of go off of flow. So if I have enough people who will reach out to me and be like, I'm interested in something like this, I can totally put together another group cohort. It doesn't have to be a full year. I mean, we did 2 chapters, so we did 6 months at a time, but I would love to offer something like this again. You
guys reach out to her. It is life-changing. If you have a project that you are really stuck with, if you're having limiting thoughts, if you just feel blocked in life, please do it. I swear it has changed my life, and now I'm going to be famous because of it.
You are famous already. You are fame. Oh, well. Thank you so much for being on this channel. Melissa said she's inspired to post videos now. Yeah, thank you. And
I love you, Amanda.
Talk to you soon, I'm sure. In the next
See you tomorrow.
But thanks for everyone who tuned in, and I'll be on the channel again soon.
Bye.
Bye. Okay.